Hello, hi, back at it again with another video. Great to see you. I'm Will. I'm a guy from the UK, here to talk today about Mounjaro. So I'm doing a little series now. I'm going to call Mounjaro Diaries. I'm going to answer questions around Mounjaro. Because it's something I've been thinking about a lot lately. It's something I've been taking and something I'd love to kind of talk about and explore a little bit more on the channel. So, hi, I'm Will. Will's Thunder Talks. Question for Mounjaro Diaries, I suppose. How and why did I choose Mounjaro? Cool. So, I'm going to start a bit with me, I guess. I've always been a heavy dude. I've been a heavy dude my whole life. And I've also had like a weird aversion to like medication or medicinal means that have helped me with weight loss. So I've done things like keto. I did keto for a year. I was vegetarian for over a year. Now I'm pescatarian. I've been going to the gym off and on for probably 7-8 years. And when I say off and on, like a year and a half, 4 days a week, then stop for 3 months, then go to the gym 2 days a week for a year, and stop for 6 months. Currently, I'm on that 2 to 3 day a week grind. And I've been doing that for about a year and a half now. So, like, I go to the gym pretty often, okay? And I guess I've only feel like I've been, like, really feeling in my body like there have been some improvements, like, sort of recently. And I think that might be in due part to Mounjaro. But I guess I looked at the main weight loss medications because I guess I got to a point where I was, like, doing these diets, doing these exercises, stuff like that, and like they worked for a bit, but I'd still eat loads, and then I cut sugar out. I don't really have sugar now. I haven't for a few years. I have like the tiniest bit every now and then, but like I don't really eat sugar. And for me, I've really been like trying to like cultivate a positive body and like and kind of be as healthy as I can, and I think that's really important for me because of a lot of my creative goals and creative aspirations. Singing in a band, I'd like to like be a bit more confident in my body on stage, and also when you're not fat, it's easier to breathe, and you kind of need breath to sing well. So that's also kind of part of my motivations. It helps me like creatively express myself more and have more energy to creatively express myself. So that's why I've been trying to lose weight forever, but I have a problem with my appetite. I have a huge appetite. I eat tons of food. It's how I got so big in the first place. I think I peaked at like just shy of 30 stone. If I'm honest, got really, that was November last year. So I reached like all-time highs in my weight. And I tried to work it off for a while. I did. From like November to June, I lost probably like 10 kilograms. Which is like great, right? But also, I just feel like my appetite screws me every time, man. Every time. So I decided, hey, we've been trying this for years. Been doing keto, been doing exercise, lifting weights, fiber maxing, having a bunch of fiber, just eating whole foods where possible, reducing takeout and stuff because my wife's bigger too. So we're both trying to do it for our health. And then back in January, my wife and I were like looking at these kind of weight loss medications. Ozempic became a big thing, right? It still is kind of a big thing. These GLP-1s came on the scene. And I was like, I don't really like taking medication for this kind of stuff. I guess it makes me feel weak and a bit disappointed in myself that I can't do it naturally. But then I started like reading more and more of the studies. I started reading more of the stories of people that were having these weight loss medications. Ozempic specifically, Wegovy, they're both semaglutide based GLP-1s. And I was just trying to understand the scene a bit more and be like, well, how is this working? Like, what's happening? What does this do? What's the mechanism here? with semaglutide anyway, and that was really interesting. And then I kind of learned about Mounjaro, or Zepbound if you're in the US, or tirzepatide is the molecule. What does this do? Right, there's GLP-1 in it and GIP as well. Okay, so we looked at some of the studies and looked at we did kind of a bit of a cost-benefit analysis, right? We were like, okay, so there was a concern about osteoporosis, because with Wegovy specifically, because so there was kind of some news report that some celebrity had Ozempic or Wegovy for a while, and they'd lost a lot of weight, but they developed osteoporosis because of bone thinning. So there was a big concern about that for a while, and that certainly brought some hesitancy into it. But when I started reading some of the other studies, it was more about a lot of experts were saying, hey, if you just work out while you do this, you'll mitigate the bone thinning. That won't be a problem because you'll be lifting weights and you'll feel you should be okay. So my wife, she was kind of worried about it, but I kind of convinced her, to be honest. I'm like, maybe you should try this out, and I want to try this out too, but honestly I'm too chicken. I'm really scared of needles. I find this terrifying, personally. I've always hated needles. My brother's type 1 diabetic, and I've been around insulin needles that look very similar to Mounjaro, GLP-1 needles, because they're injected subcutaneously, and they are injected in the same place that insulin is. So I'm not a fan of those needles, but I was shaking when I did my first injection. But I think the mechanism specifically of managing appetite, reducing gastric emptying, all of that stuff felt really important and valuable in what I struggle with specifically with food, right? For me, I can do the same thing day in and day out, but I get really, really hungry. I get really, really hungry because I'm 6'2", 188 centimeters. I'm a big guy, and I'm moderately active. Okay, I sit down for work, but I go to the gym, and I usually get decent enough step counts in. So I thought, I'm a hungry guy. So I'm eating all the time, and I just get big energy drops. And I think what brought me to Mounjaro specifically was the GLP-1 interaction, where I can't remember which is which, and look this up online, speak to your doctor, etc. It's not medical advice, but GLP-1 and the GIP molecules both kind of bring your blood sugar to a really steady place, so you don't get hungry as much, right? And I felt that was really important to me, because I felt I get big blood sugar dips that make me ravenously hungry. And that's what puts on weight for me, because I go a long time without eating, because I get really sucked into something, and then I get so hungry that I can't control myself, and I'm snacking late at night. And if I'm honest, I'm doing it in part because I'm managing negative emotions. I even did it recently a little bit when I was feeling some really negative emotions, but I had 200 calories. I was very specific with it. But this is what I like about Mounjaro, and this is why I chose Mounjaro specifically, because it can help give me some space when I'm thinking about food, right? I'm not so desperate and ravenous and hungry, and I'm still on 2.5 milligram, and I've been at it since June 6th. Day recording is September 2nd. So I've been having this medication for a while. Not a long while, but a quarter, 3 months. And I've stayed on the same dose the whole time. A lot of people go up, nothing wrong with that. That's kind of the prescribed way of doing it. I'm super sensitive to it, so I haven't gone up, and it's been awesome. It's been really helpful for me. I felt the effects wane a little bit, so instead of increasing the dose, I decided to dose up every 6 days, and instead of every 7 days, just to keep the amount in my system a little more steady and consistent, instead of ramming the dose up, because 2.5 milligram was too much for me. When I started out, I had vomiting, I had diarrhea, I felt awful for a couple of weeks, just terrible. So I'm going real low, real slow, thankfully. due to the price increases. That makes that a little more attractive as a proposition to stay low, and I'm still losing at a really healthy rate for myself. So, now I'm really glad I picked Mounjaro, but initially I was really worried about it, really scared about it. And I think there's a lot of adjustment, in me. Like, I looked at all the stat as well, and wasn't interested in kind of not being able to metabolize fatty foods and that leading to ejecting your system, is my understanding of it. Please talk to your doctor, not medical advice. But I picked Mounjaro because ultimately I wanted more control over how I engage with food. That was my problem. That's always been my problem. How I engage with food was unhealthy, and now I can eat 2,500 calories, 2,000 calories, even on a day where I don't do a lot, 1,500 calories, and that's fine. For my height and weight currently, I could eat 3,000 calories and still lose weight because I'm tall and I'm still very fat. But I'm a lot less fat than I was. 155.9 kilograms as of recording. I've already lost 17.4 kilograms since June, which is awesome. I'm really happy with that, and I hope to continue that along. But we're all different. We all go at different paces. I don't want to rush this. I've lost a lot of weight before. I've lost 8 stone before. It takes time. It takes diligence. And if Mounjaro reduces the amount of diligence required to do that, and ultimately I might get osteoporosis, that's a lot better than being fat and all the health complications that come with being morbidly obese. So I'm taking that risk personally. That's how I chose it. That was the weighing up I did, and I'm really happy that I have so far. Right, the long-term effects, who knows? But in the medium to short term, very happy. So that's all I'm going to share on the Mounjaro Diaries today with Will Thunder Talks. You've been wonderful. I've been Will. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you in the next one.